I think we should talk about how people are found, how businesses are found online right from the start.
Yeah.
And you had
Oh,
brought something up, Jonathan, just before we jumped on about what people kind of expect.
Yeah,
Like,
well, nowadays, I mean, if you think about it, what do, right? We all Google things when we want to find them online. We're not going to go and look for even a specific business many times. We're going to look for a business category. Maybe we're looking for a dentist, we're looking for a landscaper, we're looking, any kind of service nowadays. And it used to be back in the day that you would Google something and you would get all these results, and you have to scroll down the screen and you'd click on all the websites and see which ones you like, which ones are trustworthy, read through various things and figure out what's the deal. But nowadays, the awesome thing is Google does all that work for us, right? So when we do the search, we search for a category, it lists all the businesses. We can see the reviews, we can compare them to each other right there on the screen without having to actually go into websites. And it's a much better experience, I think. I mean, I certainly appreciate it.
comparing the reviews is the first thing that I do, actually.
I read,
I like to look at the bad reviews.
I read the bad reviews first.
Right? Yeah.
Let's show everybody. Let's kind of have a visual here. So to your point, because we all are looking for what like right now, most of the stuff I look up online is what I got to do for my kid. And so my kid needs dentists. So I live in Arcadia, California. So I might look for the top um, orthodontist
Scott, you have
in.
no idea though, because I have 5 kids. You only have one. Imagine the number of
Yeah,
Google searches I make
that's
on a
why
daily
that's
basis.
why none of your kids are gonna have an orthodontist work done. But look, I mean, this is the Google three pack. We've seen that a million times. Where any business, realtors, orthodontists, attorneys, business, insurance brokers, whatever.
Yeah.
Vivian Lee, though, her ability to show up here, it comes down to if someone said, "Hey, you should work with my friend Vivian Lee. She's the best orthodontist in town." Well, all the stuff on the left's not catching my eye. This is what's catching my eye. This
Mhm.
Google profile with these 105 five-star Google reviews. This is this. It's the same thing.
Right.
And so it's so important. I don't love Vivian. If you ever hear this, I feel like we need to talk because this isn't the best representation of your business. But this is what
Poor
people
Vivian.
do. Whether they're
Yeah,
looking for Vivian or if they're looking for the best orthodontist, that's her ability to rank and for the best of her to show up. I don't
Right.
know. What do you
right.
guys think about that?
I think so. We should put a little language around this though, so because people are confused, like, how do I know what that thing is? So this is Google Maps we're looking at right now. Click on the other
Right.
tab. This is a Google business profile. And
Right.
it's also referred to often, though incorrect now, because Google changed names a while back, a few years ago. It used to be called Google My Business,
Right.
but now they're calling it a Google business profile. And it's not enough to just have a Google business profile. You have to have a fully optimized Google business profile if you want to be the clear choice, right? If you want people, when they're comparing, to say, oh, yes, this is the one I want to talk to. And it's just like if you're buying a product on Amazon, you're going to go and compare multiple products. You're going to look at the reviews. That's what we do first, right? We're going to look at the bad reviews, but you're going to compare products. Typically, we don't make a selection until we look at least two or three.
Right.
That's just the way, again, human nature is. Same thing on Yelp for restaurants. That's where I'd go for restaurants. But for a service business, for a brick and mortar location, a dentist, an electrician, a real estate agent, a lender, whatever it may be, these types of businesses, Google is the best place by far to find them.
Right. Well, and one of the things that whenever I'm personally searching and stuff is whenever somebody's got a bunch of mixed information out there, and then you don't know where they really
Oh,
are,
it's the worst.
if it's the right person, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
That's yeah.
Vivian Lee are both really common names. So if you're just looking for that right person, you have to have something to like separate them out.
Mhm.
That's
That's a
true.
good point. It's true. Also, I mean, this is a kind of a funny choice because that's a famous actress's name. So
Yeah.
it might
Little
be
Exactly.
spelled differently.
competition. Well,
So you have to write orthodontics.
Right, exactly. That's a good point. Or
Or localization, right?
yeah, put something in like I know anybody watching this will see how badly so check this out. This is a great way to look at this. So when I look for Vivian Lee in Pasadena, she's up against another Vivian Lee who's also a doctor, a pediatrician.
Yeah,
And this is
completely
super,
different.
it's a completely different person. And so this is so
Mhm.
important because actually it's a great way to see a Google business profile that is not optimized. I mean, look at this profile. even if that is the order of the name, if it's Lee Vivian, this is not what this doctor wants to look like, a parking lot. This is not what they want to represent online. So there's a far cry from this to a realtor I know in Pleasanton, California, named Gina Piper. Oops, spelled her name wrong. If I look her up, boom, you know, there's the woman I met at the open house. There's all of her reviews. There's her products and her postings and her biography.
Yeah.
And so like, look at this business compared to this business. So
That's
just,
a good looking profile. Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
when you look her up on your phone, you only get the Google business profile. That's all I can see. I don't get any of this information over
Sure.
to the left. So being able to see just a parking lot, I don't know what I'm looking at or if it's the right place.
Mhm.
And you know, if any of the other information is going to be correct.
Yeah, all the information on the left gets pushed below it. And then
Right.
you have that Google profile right at the top with all the information. And again, that's Google rules the world, right? Google is training us as consumers as to how we should search, and they get to pick. And they've done a really good job of
The
streamlining
verb now.
it. Right?
Google
They've
it.
trained us. We're trained.
It's
We
true.
know what to do. But it sounds like then we know our next video, or at least one in the near futures. We need to talk about the differences in detail. So I think this is probably a great point to stop and say, make sure you have a Google profile, make sure it looks good and it's not the side of a building or something weird. And then check in with us, keep watching and see how to optimize that profile, because that's going to be key to stand out.
Right on. All right, I gotta go. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next time.
All right.